Hi everybody, welcome to The Ordinary Professor. My name is Dr. Courtney Pegram and I am the host of this channel, right? It's a channel, this episode, whatever you want to build it. Okay, so today we're talking about empathy. So empathy is critical. And so in the line of work I do, and also like as an executive coach, as a professor, as all things social skills, empathy is really critical to understand, to develop relationships, to foster a safe environment. And the problem is often we don't have time for empathy. We don't know how to show empathy. And so we show apathy and we disconnect and we miscommunicate. We feel uncomfortable. We don't have time for those feelings, all those things. And that makes me mad because when people say, I don't have time for feelings, what they're saying is, I don't know how to process any of this because I'm emotionally immature and I don't want to deal with my own crap. So next time someone says, I don't have time for feelings, it's because they're not able to be in a moment where they can process what they're feeling because it's too much for them. So what they do is they shove it down and then they cause more problems than good. So just a side note on that. Now next, the other thing that makes me really upset when people say like, don't be so sensitive or you're so sensitive, because that's also dismissive and doesn't show any sense of empathy. Sorry guys, you can't tell people how they feel and you can't demand people to stop doing certain things because crying is healthy. It's the best form of emotional release. I recommend that people cry more often so they release the emotion that's stuck in their body and they can be 100% better. I mean, we all know how it feels to like have a good cry. Now, how do you build empathy? So let's talk with 3 strategies that are super effective. 1, you need to sit down and get to know the person that you're talking to. And if you're trying to build your own empathy, you got to figure out what is important to you. What emotions do you feel the most often, right? How do you relate those emotions? And where do you see them in other situations? Now, in my work with anti-bullying, anti-violence, we would push empathy. Like one of the SELs is like being empathetic. The problem is we couldn't get children to be empathetic, and here's why. Because no one sat down and said, hey, what's going on with you? They say, you need to feel bad for that, or you need to say you're sorry, or you should. And this, what it does is it shut down people and they don't want to talk about what's bothering them, or they don't want to feel for other people because no one's feeling for them. So people that are hurt and that are more prone to aggressiveness or bullying, they can't really show empathy sometimes because no one's there dealing with so much crap. So to build empathy, first is about self-awareness. 2, it's about understanding how to put yourself in someone else's shoes through the power of storytelling and visualization. Now, when it comes to the blueprint of empathy, there's a ton of things you can do. But for starters, it's about understanding your story, how you feel about your story. And then if someone else was to share your story, how would you feel about what they said about you? Okay? So then once you do all that awareness and work on yourself, you can then flip the switch and be like, how do I feel about this? How could I show empathy for that? And so I'm a very empathetic person, but I struggle sometimes. When do I struggle? When I'm tired, stressed out, when I'm too busy, and when I'm not focused on the things that are important and I'm distracted. It's really hard to show empathy. So the more busy we are, the less empathy we show. We fuel disconnection. So it's important to have the right mindset to be empathetic. Now, last about empathy, it's about understanding what that means. So define empathy for you. Have it have a meaning. So for me, empathy means is putting myself in someone else's shoes and giving them grace. So grace is super important in my definition of empathy. So giving them the space to be sad, mad, angry, and understanding where they're coming from versus what I think or what I feel they should come from is not helpful whatsoever. So those are some quick tips and tricks to think about empathy. We're gonna have a few segments on this, but I just wanted to start thinking about how do you create your blueprint for empathy? What does it look like? And the first step is self-awareness, identifying what makes you feel a certain way, what's your story, and where are some areas that you can see your story play out in different people's lives, right? So what gets you going, right? And then what also triggers you. So try that for a start as we continue with the blueprint of empathy. Thanks so much for joining. Have a great day. Bye.